The acupoints can work very quickly, but to learn takes time. So I'm so glad you're here. We will be doing the lung meridian and the large intestine meridian. Those two meridians or energy channels in the body are what are at their peak and want to be imbalanced in the autumn, in the fall. Okay, so I'm going to just show you. It's very simple. Good way to help stay healthy. If you do yoga, you could add this into doing yoga. If you just stretch, if you run, whatever you do. Okay, so let's get started with lung. I have my notes here, but I'm going to show you so you can do this. Okay, so lung starts between the first and second rib, and basically this is findable. It does not have to be exact. Okay, so you find your clavicle, you can feel it there, your collarbone, and then go out right to the edge of it, and then just drop down about 2 or 3 finger widths. And you could just press there gently, okay? So hope you can kind of see where I am, all right? Where I'm pressing. So collarbone, trace it out, drop below the collarbone, maybe 3 finger widths or so. There's a hollow, not all the way out towards the shoulder, a little bit in. It might feel a little tender, so you could just take your fingers and gently massage there. Okay, this is lung 1. And take a deep breath, open up the lungs, and feel that you're bringing energy into this point. And exhale. Okay, good. And so now it's tricky, you guys, to show you my whole arm, but what it is, is this meridian runs from there, from lung 1, and I'm on the palm side of the arm, and it runs, and it runs to the thumb. So you could squeeze the base of the thumbnail, okay, and that actually, even just that stimulates the meridian. So I'm going to drop my hands down, take a breath with me. You're squeezing at the base of the nail on either side of the base of your thumbnail, and you're just going to hold it. So yeah, I'm in my studio. There's all these cords, but going by there to get to the computer. So, all right, and just breathe. And that actually starts to activate the flow of the lung meridian. Okay, so now what we're going to do is actually tap on that meridian. Okay, so EFT, as I understand it, is from traditional Chinese medicine. So I am a shiatsu massage practitioner, and these techniques are amazing. So it isn't just about points, you guys. Sometimes people are like, what's the point for this? What's the point for that? The points have an effect, but you want the whole line to flow, the whole energy. Think of it like a hose, and the energy like water flowing through a hose. So that whole line has to be unobstructed. So it's more complicated than just a point, okay? So from here, we're just going to lightly tap. So if you picture your arm, the inside of your arm, and picture 3 lines, 1 line going to the thumb, 1 line going to the middle finger, and 1 line going to the pinky finger. That's all. Just divide this part of your arm into 3. And so we're just going to be working on the line going towards the thumb. Lightly tap, 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 towards the base of the thumb. I believe this is the thenar eminence. Shiatsu is less muscularly based, and it is based more on feeling the meridians and the points, but I believe that's the thenar eminence. I could be wrong, people, but you're going to feel this. You're going to tap, 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 and I'm already feeling tingling. I'm very sensitive to energy flows. So just pause. Just say you tapped a couple times with me. I want you to compare the arm you worked on to the arm you did not work on. Now, unless you're made of stone, maybe you are, right? Or I don't know, you will feel a difference. So just sit with me now, feet apart, breath in, and notice the tingling. This has to do with increased blood flow, yes. The blood and the chi are intimately linked. So yes, you're feeling increased circulation. That is a good thing. Notice how that part of your arm feels. Like I said, I can notice and feel a difference going all the way down to my thumb. It feels like there's movement. It's subtle, it's very pleasant. Okay, so now let's take your hand, your working hand, and you can just squeeze. So I'm just gently squeezing Squeezing, squeezing. Okay. And then, so other than lung 1 here, which you can either again tap, tap, tap a little, but really rub. Tapping is a specific type of technique, and it's not always the best technique to do. It activates the energy, but it's what we'd call like a little bit dispersing. So the just squeezing is also very good. What I'm going to have you do is bend your elbow. I'm going to push my sleeves up. And at the elbow crease, on the inside, just drop down maybe an inch or so, and there's a point there that's just a really good point to press for energy. Does that make sense? So elbow crease, and then drop down like an inch, maybe a little less, and still on that same line though, on the thumb line. So you don't go towards the middle and you don't go towards the pinky line. You're still on the line that would go to the thumb. Okay, and then just press that and hold. Breathe, and as you breathe out, feel like you're pressing energy into the point. Press, press, press. Hold. Breathe. You could do that again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, feel like you're sending energy through your thumb that you're pressing into the point. Good, good, good. You do that 2 or 3 times, and then just release that. Okay, perfect. And then we'll come down, and then right here, right at the base of the thumb, we'll press that as well. Just press that. That's another lung point. Okay. These shouldn't hurt. You should not get a sharp pain. It might feel tender. It might feel tender. That just indicates that this is good an idea to get the energy flowing through there, okay? It may feel slightly uncomfortable. So I'm just pressing there. I'm making little circles, kind of holding. Breathe. You always breathe in. Feel that you're breathing energy into the point. So we've worked the whole line, right? Hold on. Here, we went down, over, over, over. We went to here, and again, let's end with, I'm holding the either side of the thumbnail, and I'm pressing, okay? And you would do the same with the other side. So, you've got 2 sides, you got to do both sides. All right, so that is the lung meridian. So you can do that after the end of the video. We're going to go on to the large intestine, okay? So large intestine, index finger, and it runs up, up, up the forearm, okay? Can you see? It's a little tricky to see because I have to go a little further away. Up, 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 and then towards the back of the arm, and let's just say up through the shoulder, okay? So what you're going to do, let's start with the index finger. Again, squeeze the base of the nail. Really simple. If that's all you do, that's still really helpful, okay? Breathe in with me, breathe out. I'm squeezing the base of the nail of the index finger, okay? And hold and just breathe. So this is large intestine. They are a pair, lung and large intestine. They have to do with defense of the body, and protection via the skin. So skin issues are, in traditional Chinese medicine, often related to, hello Percival, are often related to the large intestine. Yes. And the lung, large intestine meridians. These are the meridians to get in balance for the autumn season. They'll help strengthen our lungs to keep us away from colds, flus, any sort of lung problems. This is at least strengthening that energy flow. Okay, so we've squeezed there. Now, a really famous point, this is large intestine 4. See between the thumb and the index finger, there's a crease always, right? Then if you separate your fingers, take your thumb and right in there. So you're not on the bone, you're a little bit, you're in a hollow. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll show you in just another way. If you take your finger and you sort of hit before it goes up, there's a little hollow, right? Press right in there. This is large intestine 4. This is not a good point. If you are pregnant, don't press this point, or even if you think you're pregnant, don't press this point. You would have to press it for quite a while, but we don't use this in women who might be pregnant because it can begin the labor process. It has a strong, it can have an action to bring the birth process on. So do not do this if you are pregnant. Okay, but this is large intestine 4. So it has a, as I said, you'd have to do it quite a bit and strongly for it to do that. But don't do that. So what this is good for any pain, really above the waist. It's a very powerful point. It has a lot of different indications. But again, we're treating the whole meridian to keep the energy flow balanced. Sorry, the Percival's distracting. So I'm pressing on it as I'm talking to you. Breathe, exhale into the point. Again, this can be tender on many people. This can be tender. At the end, I'll read you some of the sort of the indications on it, but let's just actually do the practice now, okay? And then you're just gonna squeeze, so like kind of on this edge of the arm in line with 4. We're gonna continue up. You can see, it might be hard to see. Nope. Okay, my screen went to rest. So in line with the index finger, you could just take your thumb or squeeze, and you could also just tap. So index finger, tap, 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 going to the outer part of the crease here, right? Because remember, lung is on the inside, this is on the outside of the arm. And then go up the back of your arm. This does not have to be exact. You can tap, 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 tap to the shoulder. Tap, 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 tap. And then squeeze your shoulder. What I do, grab the elbow, squeeze the shoulder. So I support that elbow, and then with my working hand, grab and squeeze. Grab and squeeze. Grab. I'm picking up the muscles and dropping it down. Okay. Shake out your wrist and just rest your arm down. And again, I worked on the same side for both, so do that as well. And just notice now you really will feel a difference between the arm you worked on and the other arm. So just rest your arms down, meditative position. Deep breath in, breathe out through the mouth. Let go, release, release, release. Now, strangely enough, you might actually feel energy flow on the other side. That is like a mirroring effect, because since everything is connected, which is what, Western medicine tends to look at the body in parts, and you know that. You go to this specialist for that and that specialist for that, and one looks at reproductive, one looks at your ears, one's everything is in bits. Even things that you think it could be the same doctor, it's not. But Chinese medicine is very much about a holistic, really emphasizes that. So even though you worked on one side only, you might also feel the other arm feeling more energized, okay, if you're very sensitive. All right, so those are the 2 meridians, lung and large intestine. I'm going to now just read to you some of the indications of it, okay? Hey guys, now, yes, I put my glasses on. You know I don't like to film with them. So I put my glasses on because I'm going to read you from my teaching notes. Okay, so at this point, those of you who just wanted the practical, how to do it, you did one side, you've got to do the other side, obviously, right? So let's see. I hope I still have good light. All right, so I'm going to read to you about the lung meridian. All right, so what it's good for, and this is according to traditional Chinese medicine. I am not a doctor, and if you have any medical problem, you should check with your doctor. Okay, lung physical imbalances, the lung meridian, I will say. So any breathing or lung disorders, asthma, emphysema, tightness in the chest, even nasal congestion. And as I mentioned, they link the lung, large intestine to skin problems. So skin disorders, eczema, dry skin, those are some indications that this energy meridian might want to be strengthened, okay? Psychological imbalances. So what's lovely about Chinese medicine is that it's beautiful because, and I have seen this in practice, and other professionals who do this work have seen the truth of it. So there is an emotion with each meridian. So with the lungs, when there's an imbalance is when we can feel a little bit depressed. Isolation, withdrawal, melancholy, feeling a lack of self-worth, inability to grieve or too much grieving. So the lungs have to do with that taking in and letting go. And so sadness, depression, grieving, any, imbalance, too much, too little, might show that that is the meridian that needs to be strengthened, right, with some of the work that we just did. Okay, so hope that was helpful for you on lungs. So let's go to large intestine. Some of it is the same. Okay. Large intestine actually very much, of course, has to do with elimination. And again, from my teaching notes, any problem related to the large intestine. So, of course, constipation. Yes, constipation. Diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. And again, skin, nose, and sinus problems. And some of it is because the meridian actually flows. There'll be connections because the meridian flows over a part of the body. Like it might flow near the eye or the ear. And so it then, even though it doesn't seem related, it actually has some control over it. So there's a point here that, on the nose, close to the nose here, that helps with sinus problems and stuff like that. So that is linked with large intestine. So even though it's on the large intestine meridian, the energy flow goes by the nose and therefore has an effect. It's pretty cool. Okay, large intestine 4, that one I really emphasized, this one, Meeting Valley, can actually help clear the nose and sinuses, mental and physical elimination, constipation or diarrhea, arm, neck, and shoulder pain because the meridian goes over that area, that it's like it flows through that area, facial pain, lockjaw, toothache, again because it flows through the face, and very much for your general well-being. So that's a good point. As I said, not if you are pregnant. You don't want to hold and press on that for a long time. That wouldn't be a good point for that because it is said it can start to bring on labor. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. This is to stay in balance with nature. The system is very much about, that's how we maintain our health, is that, we're breathing in the air, we're eating the food. This whole thing of local food has a lot of merit in both the Indian Ayurvedic system, traditional Chinese medicine, and any tribal culture. Of course, the people would eat the food pretty much that grew there. That was the vast majority of their diet. So in the winter, they weren't eating coconut, for example. If there was winter, they didn't have access to coconuts. And you're like, oh yeah, well now it's great we do. Yes, on one hand, but again, there are different energetic effects. Foods are heating and cooling. And so if you're in a climate where that doesn't grow, you're literally imbalancing yourself relative to your actual climate. So it's fascinating. It's a beautiful system. I'm just going to close with just taking a breath with me. So I hope this was helpful. Do those meridians, the lung, large intestine, do them on the right arm and the left arm. That's just a good, easy place to access them. And namaste. If you would like to work with me where I can really coach you in more detail and adapt things to your specific condition, I can do that virtually. And if you're in New York City, currently I am working with clients in New York City as well. So get in touch. I'll put the links below. Namaste and have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye-bye now.